Welcome snow lovers to my first midweek ski roundup of the season. And what a great start to ski season it's been. In late November we've seen not one but two major winter storms plough right across the Alps, dumping well in excess of a metre of snow at altitude at multiple resorts. The storms have been classic North Atlantic depressions, and as such the northwestern Alps, in particular Savoie and Haute-Savoie in France and Valais in Switzerland, have bore the brunt of the storms and seen the biggest snowfall totals. But all four corners of the Alps have received some meaningful snowfall throughout November. But in Haute-Savoie in particular, so in resorts such as Avoria 1800, Flaine in the Grand Massif, and of course the entire Mont Blanc range, this has been the snowiest build up to winter in nearly 30 years. You got to look way back to the winter of 1996-7 to have had a snowier late November period than we've experienced this winter, so it's been an absolutely cracking start to the season. Avoria, which is up at 1800 metres, have been reporting a base depth of over 1.5 metres, and in places around the Chamonix Valley, people have been discovering snow with depths greater than 2 metres at relatively modest elevations. Owing to these fantastic snowfall totals, there's been a race to get open as early as possible right across the Alps, and for those resorts which were already open, there's been a race to get as much terrain open as possible. Whether it's through preview weekends or full opening, many resorts have been able to open 1 if not 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Some have even been able to open a month ahead of schedule, which is pretty exceptional. There are far too many resorts opening early to name here, so your best bet is to check your local resort's website to find out if they're open or not, because all previous opening schedules have just gone completely out the window. Even if your local resort isn't yet open, it is likely that they're going to have brought their opening forward at least a week, maybe more. And of the resorts which are already open through autumn, there's been a race to see who can get as much terrain open as possible by the end of November. So, by November the 30th, there were 4 resorts which were able to offer up to 160 kilometres of terrain, which is a huge amount for that time of the year. So these include Soldern in Austria, which had been leading the charge through much of November, the Silvetta Arena around Ischgl, which is a cross-border Swiss-Austrian resort, another cross-border resort of the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, which spans between Switzerland and Italy, and then finally Teens Val d'Isère, having opened their link-ups towards the end of November. But these numbers will soon be surpassed when the Three Valleys joins the fray and opens up their link-ups this coming weekend, the 6th and 7th of December. Up to this point it's just been the Val Thorens Valley offering lift-serve skiing, but once Merival and Courchevel join the party, then the Three Valleys will be charging ahead when it comes to the race of who is offering the most skiable terrain. Similarly, the Four Valleys resort around Zermatt in Switzerland will also be catching up once they open up their links. Up to this point it's only been the main Verbier resort itself offering skiing, but once the neighbouring valleys join the party, they will also then offer a huge amount of terrain. And it's not just the Alps of course which experience bumper snows in November. The Jura also experienced fairly significant snowfalls, with a number of resorts being able to offer lift-serve skiing nearly a month ahead of schedule. I myself stopped off at the La Fossile ski area on my way back to the Alps for a day's skiing in the Jura, and while I didn't have the powder that many of the resorts in the Alps had, the skiing there was fantastic for the time of year. There was also extensive Nordic skiing available in the Jura at this time of year, with many of its Nordic ski centres also able to open. And closer to home for my UK-based viewers, we've seen lift-serve skiing in both Scotland and England in mid-November. I expect many of you aren't even aware that there is lift-serve skiing on real snow, on real hills in England. But there is. It's incredibly limited, of course, but for the second year running, they've been able to open the lifts in the North Pennines at the Weardale Ski Club, Yadmos and Allen Heads, all offering 2 or 3 days skiing back in mid-November, before unfortunately the rains came and washed it all away again. Even Pembrokeshire was getting in on the action, with the Preseli Hills experiencing up to 50 centimetres of snow. Now of course there's no lifts down there, but somebody did rig up their own rope tow, so when there's a will, there's a way. And north of the border, Cairngorm Mountain were also able to offer top-to-bottom skiing for a number of days in mid-November. They've also since lost some of their snow, but they have retained enough of a base on some of the runs, so it is still possible to ski lift-serve skiing at Cairngorm Mountain. And this is thanks in part to the funicular railway there finally being reopened again after many, many years of troubles. Indeed, there have been some absolutely fantastic conditions to be found in the Cairngorms back in November, with a number of bluebird powder days, comparable to those being experienced in the Alps. Okay, granted, nowhere near the depth of the snow, but in terms of the quality and the views and the weather, it looked pretty stunning up there too. Glencoe Mountain also technically were offering lift-serve skiing on real snow for a brief period of time, with their dry slope down at the car park being completely snow-covered for a number of days, and with the new Magic Carpet lift there, that too technically counted as being lift-serve skiing on snow. And indeed, at least one intrepid ski tourer had made it all the way from the car park to the summit on skis. I don't know how well they managed to ski back down again, but yeah, people have been skiing all the way up to the summit at Glencoe Mountain too. To the regular viewers of my channel, I'm trying something a little bit new this year with this midweek snow roundup. But don't worry, this is not replacing my usual weekend full snow report from the Chamonix Valley. This is going to be in addition to it. So my weekend snow reports, which I'll be releasing on a Friday and Saturday as normal, will be focusing almost exclusively on the Chamonix Lift Pass area. So obviously that's the Chamonix Valley, as well as Evasion Mont Blanc, Courmayeur and Verbier. And then for these midweek snow reports, I'll be casting my web further afield. So while I'll also mention those ski areas as well, I'll be including ski areas from all four corners of the Alps, from east to west. And of course, I can't be in all those places at once. So the style of this report is going to be a little different to my usual weekend reports. And they will continue in their normal style, so you'll be seeing a lot more of my face there. Whereas these midweek reports will be what you're seeing now, this kind of vein. So it'll be more of a voiceover, including webcam footage from other areas, lots of photos, things people have sent me on social media, etc. So stylistically, this is going to be a little bit different, but this just makes it easier for me to cover more areas and talk about more things without actually having to go visit those places. And of course, it still gives me the time to be able to focus on my main snow report at the weekend in Chamonix in its usual style. So if you're new here and you want to be kept up to date with the snow conditions from a particular area that you're interested in across the Alps, then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and also hit the notifications button as well. That way you're sure not to miss any new release. I am a one-man band. I do absolutely everything myself, from the research to the filming, the editing and the publishing. So if you found value in what you've seen and what you've heard here, and you'd like to say thank you, then I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page. Now, of course, you're not literally buying me a coffee. It's just a means for you to donate whatever you see fit, a bit like an online tip jar. There is no obligation for anybody to contribute. My information will always be free and available to everybody who wants it. But for those who do want to say thank you, I am incredibly grateful. Naturally, the less time I have to spend trying to earn a living, the more time I can spend keeping you all informed and keeping you up to date with what the conditions are like in the Alps. So it is a huge help to me. If you are willing and able to contribute, then you can contribute through my Buy Me a Coffee page. Thanks very much. And back to the snow conditions. While the base depth is excellent right across the Alps now, but sadly in terms of snow quality, opening day came a few days too late for a lot of resorts. The big snowfall came midweek. By the end of the week, in a lot of places the snow had transformed either to wind crust or sun crust. There was still some lovely powder to be had if you could find any sheltered spots anywhere which hadn't experienced either the sun or the wind, but for a lot of places, naturally all the available powder got tracked out very, very quickly. So while yes, we've got an amazing base right now, if you are coming out to the Alps early, over the next week or so, you're unlikely to find any of that lovely powder that you would have been seeing all across social media throughout the latter part of November. Moving forward with the forecast for the coming week, as I speak right now, it's currently snowing quite heavily in the Alps Maritime in areas such as Isola 2000, and that will continue through the night tonight and into tomorrow. But this weather is largely just affecting the far southwest portion of the French Alps. For the rest of us, it is at most just a few flurries, a few flakes of snow, a little bit of light rain and drizzle, and then on for the rest of the week, it's staying pretty dry, pretty sunny throughout much of the Alps. Further east, there will be periodic snowfalls on the far northern extremes of the Alpine range, but this snowfall won't penetrate very far south in towards the Alpine chain. It'll only be on the most northern extremes of the Alpine range, and we're not expecting to see any particularly meaningful totals. It'll just be a few centimetres here and there. And for everyone, sadly, temperatures are set to increase throughout the week. Mother Nature has a way of trying to even everything out. So while we've experienced a period of quite prolonged below average temperatures with of course lots of snowfall, in the coming week to 10 days and perhaps beyond, we're now going to be experiencing temperatures above average, potentially well above average, with freezing levels going well above 3,000 metres again for potentially quite a few days. It will remain a little bit cooler the further east you go, but for everybody we are switching from a polar maritime air mass to a more southerly or southwesterly tropical maritime air mass now. So it does mean for everyone that we're going to be experiencing much higher freezing levels, much warmer temperatures. So this is of course a little bit of a shame. There is no fresh powder in the foreseeable for basically any of us in the Alps, but all is not lost. While yes, temperatures are increasing quite a lot, there's no meaningful rain in the forecast either, so a lot of the snow we've got now will survive, it will remain. The sun is as weak as it gets at this time of year, so any thawing will be slow. There will of course be steady loss, steady thawing, but particularly for more north and east facing pistes, you can expect them to stay pretty firm, pretty hard, pretty fast. So that's just about it for my first midweek snow roundup from across the Alps, and indeed even a little bit further afield this week. My first full ski and snow report for the Chamonix area will be out this weekend, so you've got that to look forward to. And of course I've got many more fun and exciting things planned throughout the season, so stay tuned for those as well. One last thing for me to say is, I have a partnership with Outdoor Master this season, who are a relatively new, relatively small but expanding snow sports brand, who in particular make excellent quality goggles and helmet, and they're probably the best value brand on the market right now. And in addition to that, I currently have a discount of 20%, which is valid for the whole of December. After that, my discount code will revert to 15%, so if you are looking to buy new snow sports gear, like I say, goggles and helmets, or indeed socks, gloves, anything, I'd recommend you to check out Outdoor Master now and take full advantage of my 20% discount before it expires. So I'll include the link down in the description and also on the screen here as well to the website and the code that you need. So I definitely recommend checking them out. So once again, thank you all for watching and listening. I'll be seeing you very, very soon.